Most dog owners believe their dogs enjoy every form of affection they receive. A pat on the head, a tight hug, a playful squeeze around the face, a quick scratch while walking past. Humans see these gestures as love, but many dogs experience them very differently. The truth is uncomfortable. Most dogs are not actually enjoying these interactions. They are simply tolerating them because they trust us. Dogs are incredibly patient animals. They live beside humans, adapt to human behavior, and quietly accept many uncomfortable situations without reacting aggressively. Because of this, people often misunderstand silence as happiness. But calm behavior does not always mean comfort. The next time you touch a dog, pay attention carefully. Watch the body before, during, and after contact. Many dogs slightly lower their ears when a hand reaches toward the top of their head. Some briefly freeze. Some close their eyes tightly. Others turn their faces away the moment the petting stops. These are subtle stress signals. Dogs communicate mostly through body language, and humans often miss those signals entirely. One of the biggest mistakes people make is patting dogs directly on the head. To humans, this seems friendly and harmless, but in canine communication, reaching over another dog from above can feel socially intimidating. It creates pressure. That is why many dogs tolerate head pats instead of actively seeking them. A dog that truly enjoys touch usually shows it clearly. They lean into the contact. They move closer. They nudge your hand when you stop. Real enjoyment is active, not passive. This is why many trainers recommend something called the 3-second rule. Pet the dog gently for 3 seconds, then stop. If the dog comes back for more, they are giving consent. If they walk away, avoid eye contact, lick their lips, yawn, or stay stiff, they are telling you they are finished. It is such a simple test, yet it changes the way humans understand dogs forever. Another misunderstanding is hugging. Humans hug to express warmth and emotional closeness. Dogs do not naturally communicate this way. When a dog is tightly held with arms wrapped around their body, many feel trapped or restricted. Some tolerate it because they know the person. Others become anxious but remain silent. This is especially dangerous with children. Many dog bites happen not because the dog is aggressive, but because the dog was stressed for too long without escape. People ignored the warning signs until the animal finally reacted. Dogs constantly communicate discomfort through small signals: turning the head away, showing the whites of the eyes, licking the lips, holding the body stiff, pinning the ears back, or slowly moving away. These are not random behaviors. They are requests for space. The strongest bond with a dog is never built through forced affection. It is built through respect. When dogs learn that their signals matter, they begin to trust more deeply. They stop avoiding touch. They willingly come closer. They rest beside you peacefully. They ask for affection on their own. That is the difference between a dog that merely tolerates a human and a dog that genuinely feels safe with one. Every touch teaches a dog something, and the gentlest hands are often the ones dogs trust the most. One of the biggest reasons humans misunderstand dogs is because we expect dogs to communicate the way humans do. Humans use words. Dogs use behavior. And unfortunately, most of their communication is extremely subtle. Dogs rarely begin with aggression. They begin with discomfort. A dog almost never jumps directly from calm behavior to biting without warning. The warnings are usually there long before that moment happens. The problem is that humans often fail to recognize them. A dog turning its head away may look insignificant to us. A quick lip lick may seem meaningless. A small yawn during petting may appear adorable. But in canine communication, these tiny behaviors can carry enormous emotional meaning. Dogs use calming signals to avoid conflict. These signals are their polite way of saying, "I feel nervous. I need space. I'm uncomfortable. Please slow down." Most dogs try very hard to avoid confrontation. That is why many dogs endure uncomfortable interactions silently for long periods of time, especially family dogs. Family dogs often suppress their discomfort because they trust their owners and depend on them emotionally. They learn routines. They learn expectations. And many eventually stop resisting even when something makes them uneasy. This creates a dangerous misunderstanding. Humans begin believing the dog enjoys something simply because the dog allows it. But tolerance and enjoyment are not the same thing. Imagine someone constantly invading your personal space while you remain quiet to avoid conflict. Silence would not mean comfort. It would simply mean restraint. Dogs experience similar emotional pressure more often than people realize. This becomes especially important around children. Children naturally move quickly, hug tightly, grab suddenly, and invade personal space without understanding boundaries. Most children mean no harm at all. They are simply expressing excitement and affection. But dogs can easily become overwhelmed by this behavior. A child leaning directly into a dog's face, wrapping arms tightly around the neck, or climbing onto the dog's body may create enormous stress for the animal. And many dogs show warning signs before reacting. They freeze. They turn their head away. They pin their ears back. They show the whites of their eyes. They lick their lips repeatedly. These are signals asking for distance. Sadly, adults often misunderstand these signals and continue forcing the interaction because the dog looks calm. But a frozen dog is not always a relaxed dog. In fact, freezing can sometimes be one of the final warnings before a dog feels forced to defend itself. That is why teaching children how to respect dogs is so important. Children should learn that affection must never be forced. Dogs should always have the ability to move away freely. A dog walking away is not being rude. The dog is communicating honestly. And respecting that choice builds trust. Healthy relationships with dogs are based on safety, not control. Dogs become emotionally confident when they learn that humans listen to their boundaries instead of ignoring them. That trust changes everything. A dog that feels emotionally safe becomes softer, calmer, and more open around people. They no longer feel the need to constantly manage social pressure. Instead of avoiding interaction, they begin seeking it naturally. This is why patient dog owners often develop incredibly deep bonds with their animals over time, not because they force affection constantly, but because the dog learns, my feelings matter here, my signals are understood, I am safe around these hands. And safety is the foundation of real connection. Dogs do not need humans to dominate every interaction. They need humans to understand them. The strongest relationships are not built through control. They are built through trust, patience, and emotional awareness. When humans finally begin listening to the quiet language dogs have always spoken, everything changes. The dog becomes more relaxed, more expressive, more affectionate. Not because the dog suddenly changed personality, but because, for the first time, they truly feel heard. At the heart of every strong relationship with a dog is one simple truth. Dogs want to feel safe, not controlled, not overwhelmed, not constantly handled without choice. Safe. When a dog feels emotionally safe around a human, their entire behavior changes. Their body relaxes. Their eyes soften. Their movements become loose and calm instead of tense and cautious. They begin expressing affection naturally instead of simply tolerating interaction. This is the kind of bond most dog owners dream about. A dog that happily follows them from room to room. A dog that rests peacefully nearby. A dog that seeks comfort in their presence during stressful moments. But bonds like this are not created through dominance or forced affection. They are built through trust, repeated consistently over time. Every small interaction matters. Every time a human notices a stress signal and stops touching the dog, trust grows. Every time a dog walks away and the human allows it peacefully, trust grows. Every calm and respectful interaction teaches the dog, you are understood here. You do not need to fear human hands. Your feelings matter. And eventually, the dog stops protecting themselves emotionally. They begin opening up completely. Many dogs who once avoided touch slowly become affectionate when they realize they finally have a choice. Some begin leaning against their owners during quiet evenings. Some place a paw gently onto a lap. Others begin asking for chest rubs or resting their heads softly beside the people they trust most. These moments may seem small to humans, but for dogs, they represent enormous emotional vulnerability. Trust from a dog is never shallow. It is deeply earned. That is why understanding canine body language matters so much. Dogs have always been communicating honestly. Humans simply became too distracted to notice. The ears pulling back, the small yawn, the turned head, the stiff body, the lip lick. These were never random actions. They were part of a quiet, emotional language dogs have used forever. And once humans learn to recognize that language, relationships become dramatically stronger. Dogs are no longer treated like objects receiving affection. They become emotional partners whose feelings are respected. That shift changes everything, because the goal should never be to create a dog that silently accepts anything humans do. The goal is to create a dog that feels safe enough to choose closeness willingly. A dog that trusts human touch. A dog that seeks connection naturally. A dog that feels emotionally secure instead of emotionally pressured. And sometimes, the greatest act of love is not touching a dog more. It is finally learning when to stop.